I'll go across to Tom Vadakan, who's joining us from the BJP. Mr. Tom, how do you look at this result? This is, of course, a decisive mandate, especially in Madhya Pradesh. In Rajasthan also, BJP seems to be doing pretty well. And looks like in Chhattisgarh, in this particular seesaw battle, the BJP now has its noses ahead. How do you look at this mandate, especially given the fact that this comes right before the very crucial 2024 Lok Sabha polls?
This was absolutely on expected lines, because the kind of program, the kind of agenda that has been set by the Prime Minister, this double engine program, and the delivery pattern. You see, you have created a recipient, constituency across India, which means that across India, gender, religion, caste doesn't matter. What matters is what you have delivered, and that is what is giving the harvest that the BJP is getting across the board. Now the reality is that this will reflect on the May parliamentary elections too, because nobody in the world can imagine of a political party that works 24/7, election today, tomorrow or day after. Our karyakartas are working, and it's not just at the macro level management, it is a micro level management with the karyakartas and our social workers. This is indeed, I think, nowhere in the world can you see such kind of work in progress all around the year. And I'm sure at this rate, the vibrant democracy that Prime Minister is leading will essentially give an excellent harvest, not only in terms of electoral prospects, but also in terms of pure development across the board. And that is what you're seeing today. This does not need any exit poll to give us any
Mr. Vadakan, you're sounding very confident there, and this, of course, stems from the fact that the trends are in your favor. We'll, of course, continue to keep a close eye on that. Also joining us on the broadcast is Aishwarya Mahadev from the Congress. Aishwarya, Congress was talking about wrestling back Madhya Pradesh, but not just is Madhya Pradesh slipping out of your hand, even Rajasthan doesn't look like it's coming to the Congress, and now Chhattisgarh also, the BJP has its noses ahead. What went wrong for the Congress?
Good afternoon. I think first and foremost, I would still hold my horses on mid-noon at least to see what else holds. But besides everything else, I think that the Congress fought a very spirited fight in all the states. And I think we put up quite a battle. I think from coming back from absolutely nothing in Telangana to also trying to work through anti-incumbency in states where we were in power, and also with the added pressure of the central government and the understandable pressure that comes from there. I think that the Congress has fought back quite well. I think we are resilient. I am still quite hopeful. And I think Chhattisgarh is down to the wire, as a lot of people say. But I think that we will be able to pull through. Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh, I think India as a whole, in terms of what is north of the Vindhyas and south of the Vindhyas, vote completely differently. I think this is a learning curve for all of us also on this. But I'm still very hopeful to see that we make a respectable mark. And I still think Chhattisgarh and Rajasthan, as much as the leads are saying, I still am quite hopeful about what will happen by the end of the day.
Right, Aishwarya. I started our conversation with the losses that Congress is witnessing, but there's also a light at the end of the tunnel, especially a very bright one at that, when we talk about Telangana, where the Congress has in fact managed to really get some impressive numbers. Now, BRS is the party that we're talking about. A lot of goodwill that CM KCR also had been talking about leading up to the elections, and everyone thought this will be a close fight, that the Congress might just edge past. But the numbers that we see at this point, Congress really doing very, very well, and especially given the fact that this comes right after the Karnataka elections, looks like there is a formula that the Congress has managed to figure out that has worked in the Karnataka elections, and also it seems to be working in the Telangana elections. What's that formula that you worked out, especially south of the Vindhyas, like you talked about?
I think, honestly speaking, from the 19 MLAs we had in the last election to the sort of resounding comeback that we've had today, I think in the South, the biggest thing that has worked is development, development, development. I think that the narratives, whether it was the 6 guarantees that we pushed through or whether it was the fact that you have to acknowledge that the organization in the past 1 year has fought in how there was a positive trend from Karnataka being next door with the resounding victory we had there. But Telangana is an indicator of two things. Is one, you cannot fool the people all the time, because if you look at the TRS and KCR's sort of politics of promising a lot of welfare and then doing nothing for 5 years, and in the run up to elections promising the same things all over again, I think people realized and they saw through the smokescreen, one. And the second, the Congress ran one of the most cohesive, comprehensive sort of campaigns, whether it was highlighting the failures of the government or whether it was projecting the welfare that we'll bring in. And most positively, I think the fact that we've implemented those guarantees that we'd spoken about in Karnataka also had a positive, sort of avalanche effect in Telangana. It is a resounding victory for the electorate and for the welfare of people. And I'm really still hoping, besides Telangana, that the other states also we will hold good and hopefully have far more positive results towards the end of the day.
Right, Aishwarya, you talk about how confident the Congress was, but given the fact that you've got buses lined up right outside of Taj Krishna, of course, to take those MLAs across in case there is a hung assembly, clearly shows that there were some jitters in the Congress camp as well. We'll, of course, come back to that. Let me take this point across to Mr. Nagesh Kumar, who's a senior journalist who's joining us on the broadcast. Mr. Nagesh, welcome. What is your assessment of the results that are coming in? Madhya Pradesh seems to be a very clear cut short victory for the BJP. We're talking about Rajasthan, where also the BJP has its noses ahead. Telangana, Congress has done pretty well. But Chhattisgarh seems to be the story of the day. How do you look at this particular result that's coming in from Chhattisgarh? What does it mean for the Congress? Because this is one state that the Congress seemed very confident about retaining, but looks like it isn't really happening. Right now, the BJP is leading on 52 seats, which is well over the halfway mark. And if this maintains, the BJP will be forming the government.
No, it is like a Modi wave sweeping the Hindi heartland. But I disagree that Chhattisgarh is the story of the day. I believe that Telangana is the story of the day, because here the chief minister is entrenched for 10 years, and then the people of Telangana have voted him out, because the Congress has done nothing to sort of deserve the victory, except that it was an anti-incumbency vote. See, in Telangana, what has happened was the Karnataka results gave an impetus to the Pradesh Congress Committee leaders who were at loggerheads day in and day out in Telangana. But when Siddaramaiah and D.K. Shivkumar could join hands in Karnataka, the leaders of Telangana felt that why can't we join hands and repeat what we have seen in Karnataka? So, and then of course there are mistakes of K. Chandrasekhar Rao in terms of corruption, in terms of family-run rule, but Telangana is the story of the day.
Right, Mr. Nagesh, rightly pointed out, Telangana is also a major story of the day. The Congress, they're making a massive comeback. But the BJP right now, let's talk about the BJP that seems to have all the laddus and the sweets ready. There are celebrations that are breaking out on the streets. We are seeing celebrations in Delhi as well. Mr. Tom Vadakan stays on the broadcast with us. Mr. Vadakan, what are the plans for Chhattisgarh in case if the number holds, looks like the BJP is set to form the government in Chhattisgarh as well. So who do you think will be the chief minister? There's also a suspense on the chief ministerial candidate in Madhya Pradesh, in Rajasthan, in Chhattisgarh. So while you might be winning the assembly elections, there is no clarity on the leadership right now.
We have very clear views on that. The leadership knows who's going to lead. It's a question of announcing it. And there's no doubt in Prime Minister Modi ji's mind of who the leaders will be. So there's no doubt about that. He has had consultation with the state leadership and with the people. He is grounded to know exactly who can deliver. So there is no doubt about it. It's only a question of announcements. And Telangana, I would hold my horses right now. We may not be in a position to say anything at this juncture, but I think Congress, I think, is counting too much on their capacity and capability to form a government. Let's see. Things are developing. It's an evolving situation. There's a missing link somewhere down here. And once we identify that, I think Telangana will be another story.
Right, Telangana will be the story, and joining us from Telangana is Mr. P.L. Srinivas, who's a senior leader at the BRS. Mr. Srinivas, what went wrong for the BRS? Your party was talking about, transforming from TRS to BRS, taking over the national landscape, making sure that the opposition forces across the nation are united. But what's happening right now is not just is your party losing the only state that you have, but also at the same time, Mr. KCR, right now as we talk, Mr. KCR is also trailing from Kamareddy. What went wrong for the BRS?
Nothing wrong. You have seen this totally after the new state after COVID and other thing. We ruled for 6 years, and we have done a number of development in the Telangana area everywhere. In IT field and electricity and water irrigation and everywhere we have developed another thing. Only surprise is that I think our party is not able to explain the voters that what we have done and what they have benefited. But only this is false schemes they have given, all guarantees, 6 guarantees and 60 statements that they have promised. I think they are in the grip of the Congress. I don't think this state has developed. I think Congress will come again power. Again, the state of the position will be going bad. I'm sorry to tell you, because we are from the Hyderabad. We know how developed our state in agriculture and everywhere. Even though this results is really, we are feeling very bad. Even though we have a lot of counting is there now, only thousands or hundrds or difference are there. I think will come up more, and this thing will come in the power. I think with the final counting.
Right, Mr. Srinivas, I'll take your point there, and I'll go across to Aishwarya Mahadev, who wants to join in right now. Aishwarya, doesn't look like anybody wants to give Congress any credit. Mr. Nagesh, who's on the broadcast, said that it is more of KCR's loss than Congress's victory, because KCR, of course, I mean, all the allegations and everything that happened, KCR lost it. And now the BRS is also saying that they were not able to explain their guarantees, their schemes, the work that they have done. So it doesn't look like Congress is being given a lot of credit. It's more of a KCR's loss than Congress's victory. How do you respond to that?
No, it is not possible. Whatever. Sorry.
Can I, sir?
Yeah, Aishwarya, go ahead.
So basically, irrespective of who you attribute a victory to or what not, it is the Congress that is government. And I think that whether it was anti-incumbency, whether it was the absolute misgovernance from KCR, they say they weren't able to explain their schemes, while Telangana is one of the states with the lowest expenditure on health and welfare, lowest expenditure on education, highest sort of price rise and inflation. The story of Telangana's development is so tied into the Kaleshwaram irrigation project. You understand what sort of corruption was there. The CAG said 23,000 crores are unaccounted for in the government. And you're seeing farmer suicides, you're seeing non-disbursement of funds. Yes, on one side, there's absolute corruption and malgovernance from the side of the incumbent government. But on the other side, you cannot take away from the fact that the Congress has worked day in and day out to not only highlight the failures of the KCR government, but to also prove to you that we've done this in Karnataka, we will do this for the people of Telangana. And I think that the people of Telangana, they're done with the whole AIMIM, the BRS, the BJP being B teams to each other. They're done with the sort of appeasement. They're done with the voting blocks. They want progress. They want development. And I think at the end of the day, whoever you attribute the credit to, it's a victory for the people on the ground, victory for the people of Telangana. And I think, and I can assure you, and I know beyond a doubt, that the Congress is going to usher in a new era of progress in Telangana.
Mr. Srinivas, I want you to respond to that. This is, of course, Aishwarya Mahadev of the Congress now stating that while there might have been some lapses from KCR and his team, there is, of course, a lot that the Congress has done in Karnataka that seems to be replicating. Mr. Srinivas, whether there has been corruption or not, that is something for the probe agencies to decide. But do you admit that the BRS...
no, sir.
failed to
Whatever.
address the issue of corruption that was being talked
Whatever.
about? Do you admit that the BRS
No,
failed
no, no.
to admit to
Not
go ahead
BRS
and
failed.
solve this
That
issue
is,
and
I
convince
said
the
right
people
now.
that there was no corruption?
No, no, no. All false promises given by the guarantees by the Congress. And we don't have any corruption. If corruption is there, what they are doing in the center, they have not given any this thing. Now EDs are there, IT is there, everything is going on. Now, but nobody has CBI, everything is there. But nobody has questioned of this thing. Today, elections is just corruption is there and other thing is what Modi is doing.
No, but
What
there
central
are
government
cases
is doing.
against K.
If any,
Kavita,
no,
isn't there?
no,
There
no,
are cases
no,
against
what
BRS
happened?
leader.
What happened?
Mr.
What
Srinivas,
happened,
you said there's
Kavita?
nothing being
No, no,
done.
try to.
Aren't there
So,
cases against BRS leaders?
no, no, cases are there. Where is there cases? Simply, see, this is all false. This is not proper, this thing. Our state has developed, the new state, without support of the central government. We have developed a lot of things in everywhere. In the MNC and everything we have developed in our state, and everybody is appreciated by the central government and other people of the country. ऐसा नहीं है कि कुछ भी नहीं करे. ये नया स्टेट में इतना अच्छा डेवलप होने के बाद में भी ये स्टेट को बदनाम करने के लिए बीजेपी हो और वो रीजनल पार्टी इतना डेवलप करे, सो कौन सा रीजनल पार्टी है? आज बीजेपी है, दूसरा राज्य में है, और कांग्रेस पार्टी है. इतना डेवलपमेंट किधर भी नहीं होगा. ये नंबर 1 स्टेट बन गया. ये बोल रहे हैं इतना अच्छा स्कीम्स है, इतना अच्छा डेवलपमेंट है, फिर भी क्या है, हमारे थोड़ा लैप्सेस है कि हम लोग ग्रास रूट लेवल तक नहीं पहुंचा है. और थोड़ा इन लोग क्या है, फॉल्स प्रॉमिस, फॉल्स गारंटीज लेके इन लोग हम आने के बाद, बट बजट बस नहीं होता. 5 लाख करोड़ होना चाहिए इन लोग का. ये गारंटी 6 गारंटीज, वो 6 गारंटीज छोड़ के 60 गारंटी और दे दिए इन लोग. ऐसा पूरा कुछ नहीं है. आज के दिन हमको दुखी है, ठीक है. मैंडेट इज गिवन बाय द पब्लिक, वी अप्रिशिएट, दैट इज डिफरेंट. But after that, I think we will
Right.
not give all the whatever guarantees are there, whatever they have given affidavits and guarantee forms, it is not be successful.
Okay. Mr. Srinivas, I'll take a point there. Mr. Nagesh, I would like you to come in on that. Mr. Srinivas says that the BRS government has done a lot of work in Telangana, and the only thing that he says seems to have worked for the Congress is all of these guarantees that were given out. Of course, that did work a lot in their favor in Karnataka, and that was pretty obvious. But do you think that has been the major reason why the BRS has been dislodged, or at least what the trends show right now? Or do you think there is a lot more at play as well as far as Telangana is concerned? Because this is Congress now getting a very decisive mandate in Telangana as we speak. It is leading on 70 plus seats right now. So what are the factors that you think have worked for the Congress in Telangana?
See, I'll try to give a fair assessment. See, it is like this. The BRS government has tried to develop infrastructure. That is why Hyderabad is sort of, it's a case of Hyderabad shining. We have got flyovers, then we have got the high-tech city where you have got swank new buildings, so much so that the government once claimed that it brings all the foreign VIPs via the high-tech city from the airport instead of the regular route, so that they can showcase this. Second, the government has done a lot to improve the lot of farmers. That is through Raitu Bandhu scheme, Dalit Bandhu scheme, and all that. This Raitu Bandhu scheme is a scheme under which they give 10,000 rupees to the farmers, and to the agriculture laborers also a lesser amount. And Dalit Bandhu scheme, in which they give Dalit entrepreneurs 10 lakhs of rupees. You know, these are very good schemes on paper. But, you know, corruption has totally undermined these projects, these schemes. So out of the 10,000 given to the farmer, the middleman knocks away 3,000 rupees. Who is the middleman? It is the BRS or BRS worker. Same thing happens with the Dalit Bandhu scheme. So as a result, you know, if you, I have been analyzing these results district-wise. You know, the BRS has done quite well in Hyderabad. It has done very well in the Rangareddy district, which surrounds Hyderabad district. But you know, when it comes to rural areas, it has fared so badly that it has been swept out of districts like Khammam, Nalgonda. So, which means that there is a deep rural-urban divide. So, people in rural areas were not satisfied with the way The schemes were handled. The schemes may be good, but the implementation was bad. And more than that, what was the major undoing
Right,
of
Mr.
this
Nagesh,
government
these are, of course,
was the
topics that we'll
way.
discuss once the final figures are out. We'll, of course, get into the details of what worked for the BRS, what didn't work for the BRS, and what is working for the Congress, which seems to be leading at this point in time. Let's also talk about Rajasthan. I think Rajasthan is slipping back into, out of focus right now as we speak. Rajasthan, BJP is leading 114. Aishwarya Mahadev, you, of course, were talking about how the Congress has put out all its strength and force when it comes to these elections. What went wrong for Mr. Gehlot? A lot of welfare schemes that we are talking about. On one hand, the Congress is accusing BJP of pushing out all of these, doling out welfare schemes in Madhya Pradesh in a last-ditch effort to retain the state. But the similar effort was made by Gehlot in Rajasthan as well, but that didn't work. Why do you think that didn't work right now? The Congress seems to be slipping out now.
Uh, it's probably a psephologist's dream to sit and analyze the singular reasons that has caused such a fluctuation in the vote bank. But in the limited understanding that I have, that in the 5 years of the Ashok Gehlot government, that they worked very thoroughly, not only with welfare schemes, but women-oriented schemes. There was a large part of water resources being an issue. There was a large part of crime against women that needed to be tackled. So I think as a government, they did their best, whether it was the insurance scheme, whether it was the stipend. So I think that in terms of working, that there was an absolute effort that was put in. I still hold faith that during the end of the day, because closely fought seats, I think, are a large number of those seats. There have been spoil sports here and there. There have been regional parties. There have been Beniwal. There are different strategies and different vote banks that have worked and haven't worked. But I think Mr. Gehlot as a chief minister was a wonderful administrator. I still hold that till the end of the day, we can see what the results are. Obviously, it is not what we've expected with the leads that are coming in. But hopefully, I think we'll be able to bolster. And I think that especially in Rajasthan, the independents also tend to play a role. So let's see what happens by the end of the day.
Right, Ashwarya, you're hopeful about a lot of other states, but I think one state that the Congress somehow might be losing a lot of hopes is Madhya Pradesh, which right now the BJP is leading in 159 seats. Now, this is a decisive mandate that is coming in from Madhya Pradesh if these trends hold. I'll go to Tom Vadakan from the BJP. Mr. Vadakan, a big result for the BJP, but right now a big news that we're getting is that Narottam Mishra, who's so vocal, so visible when it comes to Madhya Pradesh BJP, he's right now trailing with 3,000 votes. What went wrong for Mr. Mishra at this point in time? Of course, these are trends that we're talking about, but doesn't look like every single thing that the BJP has tried out in Madhya Pradesh has worked.
Well, there are individual cases. We'll go into the details once the final results are out. At this juncture, it will be difficult to, take a decision either way. But one thing about Telangana, I heard your Congress panelists saying that, it is the Karnataka effect and all that. But let me tell you something. The kind of treatment Telangana received and the number of people that were killed during the period when Congress was in charge, when the division of Andhra took place, is something that's cannot be wiped out from the memory of the people of Telangana. So the ground reality is there. Development has happened, yes, but we need to have a closer look to the results because I think it's too early again to say that, well, Telangana is in the pocket of Congress yet, because if the people do react on the circumstances they were pulled into, and this whole business of saying, well, Karnataka is a successful story, Karnataka is full of promises and guarantees which have not been delivered. They don't have money for development. And who's saying this? None other than the Deputy Chief Minister D.K. Shivkumar. If this is a model of development that the Congress can deliver, God save Karnataka from, and believe me you, at this rate, Karnataka will be ours not very long. Not in terms of changing governments or anything, but next time during the parliamentary elections, you will see what the Bharatiya Janata Party will do. So, I mean, Don't build your, your heaven saying that, well, we have done so well because of the great economic. What have you delivered? You have delivered nothing. You made promises, and then development has come to a total period, full stop. And then you say, well, this is now being affected in Telangana. I mean, funding and all that you may be doing from Karnataka. Yes, I agree. DK Singh is delivering, and he is doing his job. But the point here is, will DK Singh be able to
Right,
manage?
Mr. Vadakan, we'll come back to you. Let's also listen into Jyotiraditya Scindia, who's speaking right now.
का आशीर्वाद भारतीय जनता पार्टी के साथ रहा है और जनता ने अपना निर्णय साफ कर दिया है। और जो लोग कद की बात कर रहे थे, ग्वालियर चंबल संभाग की जनता ने और मध्य प्रदेश की जनता ने उनको अपना कद दिखा दिया है।
बाकी 3 राज्यों के परिणाम को कैसे देखते हैं? उसमें भी 2 में
प्रधानमंत्री जी के नेतृत्व में छत्तीसगढ़ हो, राजस्थान हो, मध्य प्रदेश हो, तीनों राज्यों में प्रचंड बहुमत से भाजपा की सरकार आई है। प्रधानमंत्री जी का नेतृत्व देश की 140 करोड़ जनता के लिए गौरव का विषय है और प्रधानमंत्री जी के नेतृत्व में भारत विश्व पटल पर नई ऊंचाइयां छू रहा है।
क्या विनिंग एमएलएस के लिए कोई डायरेक्शन है पार्टी की तरफ से? उन्हें बुलाया गया है या विधायक दल?
ये मुख्यमंत्री शिवराज सिंह जी और प्रदेश अध्यक्ष बीडी शर्मा जी तय करेंगे। मैं भाजपा का सामान्य कार्यकर्ता हूं, जो भी वो दोनों तय करेंगे उसी के तहत हम लोग कार्य करेंगे।
राज्य में आपकी अगली भूमिका आपके राज्य में क्या होगी?
मेरी भूमिका सदैव राज्य में एक जनसेवक की रही है। 2002 से जब से जनसेवा का पथ मैंने अपनाया है, जरूर आशा अभिलाषा मेरी है। वो आशा अभिलाषा है विकास की और प्रगति की, और उसके लिए पूर्ण रूप से प्रयासरत मैं पिछले 20 साल से रहा हूं और जिंदगी के आखिरी सांस तक जरूर रहूंगा।
Well, that was Jyotiraditya Scindia there, the man of the moment, speaking on the Madhya Pradesh Assembly results. I'll go to Tom Vadakan, who's joining us from the BJP. Mr. Vadakan, I know you refused earlier to speak about the candidates that are being considered for the chief ministerial post, but is Jyotiraditya Scindia also in the race? If you can just clarify that, because a lot is being said even by the opposition that Scindia could be brought back into state politics, especially in Madhya Pradesh, given the sort of clout that he has. If you can just confirm if he is one of those people who's in the race right now.
Look, I'm a karyakarta, I'm a spokesman. I speak for my party. Decisions are to be taken in the party. So it will be out of my brief to say, well, somebody is in the race or outside the race. He is a tall leader, he is delivered, all that is there. Now, this is a question that the leadership will take based on their inputs. And it's not for the spokesman to come into public domain and say, so-and-so is in the race or the other person is not in the race. That's not my brief at all.
Right, Mr. Vadakan, you're refusing to answer that particular question, and I respect that. But also, Mr. Scindia right now, in that 30-40 second bite that he gave, he spoke about Prime Minister Modi 3 or 4 times. And this has been something that the Congress and other parties have also said, that if BJP goes on to win states like Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh, the credit will directly go to Prime Minister Modi. And if they lose it, it will be Vasundhara Raje and Shivraj Singh Chauhan taking the blame. How do you respond to these allegations now? Because all the leaders that are coming on right now speaking are talking about Prime Minister Modi and how he's contributed, and there seems to be no word on how the state leadership has also performed.
Well, I'll reverse this question. What is the Congress party going to do? Will they give credit to Rahul Gandhi for the defeats? I mean, this theory, is a thing that you can always ask and get answers from your spokesperson. What is the credit going to be for Rahul Gandhi, or it is going to be DK Singh from Karnataka, or is it going to be Mr. Reddy from Telangana? So these are questions which are, natural for you to ask, but it's at this juncture, it will be very difficult for us to say something on this. It is definitely Prime Minister Modi who is led from the front, who is our winning, icon, and he is delivered. He is delivered it both at the central level. This double-engine sarkar, that phenomenon that we have been talking about, is delivered. So it is delivery that counts. It's the Prime Minister who is led from the front. And have you heard of a campaign which was loaded with deliveries? not just promises, guarantees, what have you. And then these guarantees and warranties fall off. Here's one man who's not talked about it during elections. He has delivered it round the year.
Right, Mr. Vadakan, of course, we're talking about the person who should get the credit. We'll also talk